the session we have is very interactive. We have our moderator, Professor Smile Zisi, is that way you pronounce it? Yes, from Ghana. She's a Vice Chancellor of Polytechnic. She's also Executive Board member of Capa. So experienced lady, and we'll see. By the time she's coming, you can come to the front, and she'll be the one moderating this session, and she'll tell you all about what is going on. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello? I want to feel you. Hello? Good. Good afternoon and bonjour, isn't it? Yeah. Yesterday we had a great time. I was around at the back. And this afternoon is going to be a greater time. Although we had limited time, we'll make sure that we have a very interactive session on this great theme. Because coming to school, going to TVET institution is not just the fun of it, but to be able to go back to the workplace, to be able to go to the industry, to drive industrialization in our various countries. So the skills that we need, the attitudes, the expertise that are needed, and how to make it very easy. We are going to look at that today. And we also want to hear from you. You know what is happening at the job place. So we are going to interact, we are going to share and learn from one another this afternoon. We have a lot of experts and experienced people to help us in discussing this very important topic. So we are going to have a lead presenter first, who I think they could not have chosen anybody better for this assignment, because he is from the workplace. He knows what to make it easier, to make the transition from TVET institution to the workplace very, very easy. What we are looking out for. So since we are behind time, I will not talk much. When it comes to the discussion, when the panelists come, then we can all share ideas. So I will give Dr. Habimana Theodore not more than 7 minutes to come and share something on the topic. Then after that, I'll invite the other panel members so that we can discuss this and learn something at the end of the day. Let's give him a big round of applause as we give him the chance to give us a lead presentation. Not more than 7 minutes.
1 minute is gone already. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Bon après-midi. Thank you, moderator. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this session on the transition from TVET institution to the workplace. The youth who are already working, can you raise your hands? Those who are already in companies working. Then, who are still at school? Can you raise your hands? I see that the greatest population is still at school, okay? So you are going to transit from your school to the workplace, okay? Good. I'm Theodore Habimana. I come from this country, the host Rwanda, and I work for the Workforce Development Authority. The Workforce Development Authority is the agency affiliated to the Ministry of Education, which is in charge of regulation of the technical and vocational education and training. So, I'm going to start immediately. Those who are still at school, I think you want to work, okay? Do you want?
Yes.
But even sleeping is very good. Do you know? Have you who have enjoyed their sleep this last night? Sleeping is very nice. It does not require any energy. Okay? Good. I'm not inviting you to sleep. So, when you are at school, when you are in the last year, I think you start thinking about this question. What will I be next year? What will I be in next month or whatever? Sometimes I know that on graduation date, some graduates are thinking about from after getting out from on that door of the school, what will happen? Good. We start by thinking about the difference between the school and the workplace. The school is different from the workplace. It is different from the workplace. Sometimes what we learn from school is not exactly what is required in the labor market. It is not, sometimes it is not exactly what is required. Second, you know, those who are still at school, I know you have so much expectations and you have so much confidence, isn't it? Sometimes overconfidence. I remember myself when I was ready to graduate, I was thinking I will be engineer, we will be less than 200 engineers in Rwanda. I think I'm among the best. I was asking myself, who will be recruiting me or whatever? Like I'm a superman. That is it. Isn't it? Are some supermen and superwomen among the students still there? So this overconfidence sometimes does not have confidence, but because the first day you step in employment, sometimes you see that you have to learn so much more that you did not learn at school. But you must understand the expectations from the employer. What does the employer need? The employer needs productivity. That is it, okay? The way you can do it, whatever formulas, whatever what he wants is productivity. It is productivity. And to do that, you must build new teams. You remember the teams at school, the choir team, the sport teams, the teams, the assignment teams, and so on and so. And the way the academics is set sometimes and always is different from the realities on the labor market. It is different. It is different. At school, you can decide, today I will not go to school. Isn't it? There is some absent, some who are absent. I remember when I was at the university, it was a time when we did not have enough chairs in the university. And our rector made a comment, a joke, and he was saying, do you come to school every day? When do you go to the library? When do you go to the labs? So that you can leave places to others. you exchange. That is not the reality for the workplace. For the workplace, you must be there at 7 every time. Sometimes you have to do fingerprint, and you will leave at 5 in the afternoon. Either you want or you don't want. You see, that is the difference. But the youth in Africa, even though we are talking about that transition, we are facing the problem of unemployment. I was reading the statistics. I've seen that various African countries have different unemployment rates, spanning from 0.4 from Niger. Who is from Niger? Is someone from Niger? Il y a quelqu'un du Niger? Oui. Vous êtes le pays qui a le plus bas niveau de sous-emploi, de non-emploi en Afrique. Vous le savez déjà? Non, il ne faut pas résoudre ça. It is the country which is has the lowest unemployment rate in Africa. And the worst, I'm very sorry, according to the statistics, 46 is DRC. Is there someone from Democratic Republic of Congo? Quelqu'un de la République démocratique du Congo? Non? Je pense qu'il y a un représentant ou bien une représentante. Okay? Alors, in Rwanda, we are at 15%. But when you talk to those who are from Rwanda, do you believe on those statistics? 15%. Those who are already employed. You know your colleagues you graduated together who are not yet employed. So there are some misunderstandings. The way the International Labour Organization defines employment, unemployment, and underemployment, sometimes it confuses us. We find ourselves being called employed when we are not employed. And then, when you reach the labor market, one very big difference. You know, at school, to succeed is to do what? To answer well to the questions set by the lecturers. Isn't it? Isn't it? So at employment, there is no one who sets questions. You set yourself questions and you answer them and you mark yourself. Do you understand? You set your questions, you answer them your way, and you mark yourself. And there is an external verifier who is the employer. If he is not satisfied, you can understand what he will do. To counterpart this, or to try to go around this low unemployment among youth in Africa, I want to share the experience of my country on the new training models which have showed that the employment after graduation has reached 80%, even more than 80%. These are especially the workplace learning. To learn from the workplace, from where the job is done, not learning at school only. We have experienced various models. There is what we call the industrial-based training. In industrial-based training, the students set their class in the industry. For example, those doing hotel operations or hotel management, culinary art, and so on, they go to the hotel and they learn from there. They don't go to school. But they have lecturers, they have instructors in the hotel, but they learn from there. We have seen that more than 86% of the graduates from IBT, they are employed in less than 6 months after their graduation. The industrial attachment program. This industrial attachment program is dedicated to the to the students in at the last year of their program. They spend some 3 months, some 4 months in the company. And the dual training. This dual training is a new training model whereby the student spends 3 days at school and 2 days at a company. 2 days at a company, at school, and 3 days at the company. That is the reason why it is called dual. So the student is familiar of what is going in the industry. Then the internship, we normally call it professional internship. It is for those graduates who did not yet get employment. They get internship, they are paid a small money for their tickets and so on. So while they are waiting for employment, they familiarize themselves with employment. However, there are some special, the short-term trainings. The short-term trainings, like what you have in Rwanda, you call the National Employment Program. It is a specialized program to create employment among youth, 214,000 every year. And we need to support the youth innovations. I think this afternoon there is a competition. Among you, who will compete in innovations? I think I can tell others to go outside. Others, why don't you innovate? Others should go outside. We will base on their innovations, and then they will give a job to you. Do you understand? Their innovations will give a job to you, okay? That is it. And then you need the proper career guidance. Yesterday you had a good session on the career guidance. I do not to come back on it. So the last two slides, they are just piece of advice for those who are still at school, okay? I think Those who are already employed, can you get out? Because now I'm going to advise those who are still at school. First of all, when you are employed for the first week, make a smooth transition. Take some breaks as you used to go at school, okay? Your employer will not blame you for that. You stand up, sometimes you visit some friends in offices, something like that. You try to ease into full-time work, if possible. You try to work part-time when it is possible. Because working 5 times, 3-4 weeks a month, it is not easy. You try to make communication, really communication everywhere is extreme. Communication is extreme. You try to communicate with others. You try to communicate with others, and you try to create a daily routine. You create your own routine, and the work becomes your routine. And you must make time for the things you love. If you like swimming, please, when you get employed, don't abandon swimming. If you like singing in the choir, when you get employment, please don't forget going to sing. If you like to play guitar, it is the same. You should, please, for the first, I remember the first week I was employed, the first day, I was working for a Chinese company, a telecommunication company. I think you know it. The ZTE, the Zhongqing Telecommunication Equipment. When I reached there at 8, at 8:30, I tried to check my watch. Only 30 minutes. When we reach 5 come, only 1 hour, only 2 hours. And when it reached 4, only 1 hour remains. Only 30 minutes remains. Please, don't do like me. Don't do like me. Because you will be bored. And then, try to make new groups, new professional groups, to network with others. You remember yesterday we have done such exercise. I think you continued today. When you get employed, please network with the colleagues, with those working in the same office, or those which... Be sure that everywhere you will go, you will find friends. You will find the people who, we call it, who are in your shoes, okay? And network with them. Try to find mentors. You are not the first to do that job. There are some people who have been doing it for the last 10 years, even more. Try to find them as mentors, okay? And don't click on that mentorship programs organized by the organization. Science has proven that the successful mentorship is the mentorship done by the person who is mentored and the one who is mentoring him, but without the intervention of anyone. You can see someone, you say, okay, for this I can discuss with him. He will mentor you. She will mentor you, like that. You try to make the mentorship. But when you get employed, don't forget the 4C. Do you remember the 4Cs? The minister told us yesterday. Whatever you will be doing, your employer wants the 4Cs. I will not repeat them. So if you apply them, I think you will succeed. Okay? Do you need something else? Huh? Please clap for me. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you. Please take your seat. Thank you so much for such presentation. Let me invite the other panel members. Please come take your seat and let's start the discussion rolling. We have Eric. It's not very easy to sit here, so as they come, clap for them, okay? Eric, clap for Eric. Then the next person is... do we have Smaila here? Then what about Abudi? Okay, then we have our lady here, Laya. Is that the name? Good. I'll try and remember my French today. The two can speak French very well. So you have the opportunity to ask question or your contribution in French. Just feel free. And then we have our madam and our lead presenter will also help us in the translation. So you are welcome. So if you forget anything at all in this youth conference, anything, I think the 4 C's, you can never, ever forget them. That is the key. Those 4 C's. So we interrogate it more, try to understand what is it, then and other issues. So without wasting time, I want my panel members in whatever language that is suitable to you, just take 1 minute and share your idea on the theme. Transitioning from a TVET institution to a workplace. So just 1 minute speaking to the team, then we ask other questions.
Thank you, moderator. I just want to talk about the transitioning of from TVET institution to the workplace. So, because you give me the 1 minute, I'm going to take it briefly. So I have some tips that I need to be ensured that is involved in technical and vocational education and training. So when we try to use it, it will be better and improve our communication and development. I need to talk about innovation and creation, communication skills, and teamwork spirit. When you need to grow up, you need to do innovation, because anything you do without innovation, you cannot sustain your project or your management, and you create something new. Those when you combine it and you use your communication skills, because the big problem that we have now is that our challenge is to, when we want to express yourself or something, it is sometimes not easy, even though you have an idea. So the communication skills is a big issue that I want to say to the TVET that they have to improve. Thank you.
I talked so much. I talked so much. It is better we hear from our colleagues.
Merci. Merci au modérateur et merci à l'assistance. Ce que j'ai à dire sur le sujet, la transition entre les écoles de formation et la vie professionnelle, c'est d'abord qu'il faut faire un bon choix de carrière. Voilà, comme on a déjà dit hier, on a abordé le sujet dans un autre thème, je ne vais pas m'appuyer sur ça. Et en plus, il faut que les États, le gouvernement essayent de trouver des moyens pour assurer des stages d'apprentissage aux étudiants dans les entreprises après la formation. Parce que beaucoup d'étudiants sortent des écoles de formation, mais après, pour s'intégrer dans l'entrepreneuriat et dans les entreprises, dans la vie professionnelle, ce n'est pas facile. Donc, si une solution que j'aimerais proposer, c'est de voir un partenariat gagnant-gagnant entre le gouvernement, ça veut dire les ministères chargés de l'éducation professionnelle et les entreprises. Et lorsque ce partenariat-là sera établi, en fonction du devoir de la redevabilité sociale des entreprises, les entreprises peuvent prendre les étudiants en stage. Et à la fin de ce stage-là maintenant, les étudiants pourront, les entreprises peuvent, c'est une base de recrutement pour les entreprises et également un moyen aux étudiants de prouver ce qu'ils peuvent faire dans ces entreprises-là. Et l'autre point que j'aimerais aborder, c'est qu'à la sortie des écoles, il ne faut pas s'attendre à être employé aussi par une entreprise. Ça veut dire qu'il faut développer l'esprit d'initiative, l'esprit d'entrepreneuriat. il faut que nous soyons nous-mêmes notre patron. Parce que quand on est notre patron, nous aussi, on peut employer des gens. Et il ne faut pas aller à l'école pour dire que si je sors, on doit m'employer. Maintenant, il faut aller à l'école pour dire si je sors, moi aussi, je crée mon business et j'emploie des gens. Et ainsi de suite, il n'y aura plus de problème de chômage dans nos pays. En gros, c'est ce que j'aimerais dire. Merci.
Bien. Moi, mon propos va beaucoup plus appuyer sur l'expérience du Cameroun d'où je viens. Là-bas, s'il faut parler de la mise sur pied d'institutions, la mise sur pied d'infrastructures, de ce qu'il faut pour permettre aux jeunes d'aller de la formation professionnelle pour le lieu du travail, c'est très beau, vraiment. Parce qu'on a un ministère de la formation, de l'emploi et de la formation professionnelle qui a des programmes pour accompagner les jeunes. On a le Fonds national de l'emploi. On a le ministère de l'éducation, de la jeunesse et de l'éducation civique qui a aussi sa part de programme. Donc, tout ceci vise à permettre aux jeunes qui sortent du lieu du travail, de l'école, de pouvoir trouver un travail. Mais là, c'est le principe et c'est très beau à ce niveau. Maintenant, dans la réalité, on va se rendre compte que les jeunes qui vont sortir seront confrontés, comme on le sait, au problème de l'insertion. Parce que, quelque part, on n'a pas préparé ces jeunes à être des entrepreneurs. On a préparé ces jeunes à être des employés. Parce que quand ils sortent, ils savent seulement qu'ils doivent chercher un travail. C'est pour ça que nous pensons que, déjà, pour pouvoir faciliter la transition du lieu d'études au marché de l'emploi, cela doit commencer déjà à un âge très jeune. Pas seulement lorsque j'ai 20 ans, mais déjà lorsque l'enfant a 5 ans. Les parents, parce qu'à ce niveau, tout le monde doit intervenir. Au niveau de la maison, déjà, il est important qu'une sensibilisation soit faite pour discuter avec les parents et leur faire comprendre qu'il est de leur ressort, de leur devoir, d'identifier le potentiel de leurs enfants. Maintenant, en identifiant le potentiel de leurs enfants, à ce niveau, l'école aussi va entrer en jeu lorsque l'enfant va commencer le cursus primaire ou maternel, pour pouvoir aussi ouvrir l'esprit à l'enfant, pour qu'il puisse savoir exactement, parce qu'étant enfant, on a un rêve. Et ce rêve, il est possible de pouvoir le vivre si les conditions sont mises sur pied pour permettre à cet enfant de pouvoir poursuivre son rêve. Comme on le disait hier, on prend souvent l'éducation technique et professionnelle comme pour ceux qui ont raté leur vie. Pourtant, c'est ce dont on a besoin pour construire l'Afrique dont nous avons besoin. Donc, nous pensons déjà à ce niveau, si on permet au plus bas niveau à l'enfant de comprendre l'importance et de mettre un mécanisme qui permettrait à cet enfant, lorsqu'il sortira, de pouvoir passer du lieu du travail. On a parlé des stages, je ne vais pas revenir dessus. On parle de renforcer le partenariat public-privé, on l'a déjà dit. Mais il est aussi important d'assainir le climat des affaires, l'environnement. Parce qu'il est bien beau, même si je suis préparé à être entrepreneur, seulement la lourdeur administrative peut faire que ma bonne idée soit tuée dans l'œuf. Il faut beaucoup de courage, beaucoup de patience pour pouvoir, ne serait-ce qu'avoir sa start-up. Et là, c'est un frein. Parce qu'on dit il faut proposer des solutions innovantes. C'est bien beau, mais il faut quand même permettre à ces jeunes de pouvoir même déjà implémenter cela. Donc, moi je pense, dès le bas âge, ouvrir l'esprit des enfants à la maison et aussi bien à l'école, afin qu'ils puissent comprendre l'importance de la formation technique et professionnelle, mettre sur pied déjà dès le niveau aussi au secondaire, des filières qui permettraient, des enseignements qui permettraient aux enfants de pouvoir comprendre l'importance de suivre une formation technique et professionnelle. Donc,
Merci.
Voilà ce que j'ai à dire.
Good. Merci beaucoup. Please, briefly tell us what they have said, to those who don't understand English, just briefly.
I was reading one of the faces of the audience. I was seeing that all of them were catching well. Yeah. Our colleague Ndiaye has said about the win-win partnership between the government and the private sector to facilitate the graduates from the TVET at all of the levels, and has advised TVET graduates to do not stick on the search for employment, to be employed by others. She has mentioned that the students, you should be ready to be called bosses, not to be calling bosses others. So it means to be self-employed. She has mentioned the need for professional internship that the government has to organize for the young graduates, because sometimes what they have learned from school is not enough for employment. Our colleague from Cameroon gave based on the examples from Cameroon, the initiatives which are there, and has stressed the career guidance from low age, that the kids from primary should be equipped, and also has mentioned the role of the government, what it does in Cameroon, placing the students in internships and so on, and also came on the peer-to-peer learning and the private sector and government partnership in providing this, developing the skills. This is something new that he has mentioned, and as it works well in Cameroon, and has shown that there is a way. He also concluded talking about the need for self-employment. People should not have that fear, and he mentioned that sometimes the administrative procedures might be a break, or might limit some people, some young graduates, to access the finance. He mentioned the startup toolkits, which the government should provide to the young graduates who want to be entrepreneurs in TVET. That is it in brief.
Thank you very much. So our panel members have touched on very important issues, starting from the lead presenter down to the other members here. He touched on innovation, that is trying to do something new, to transit into a workplace. You should not just take the same way or old ways of doing things, because employers are interested in people that add value to whatever they are doing. When you innovate, you get more money, because everybody wants to try new things. I love the entrepreneurship aspect. And also the mindset is very important before you even complete school. As our lady said, you should not always be thinking of who will employ me, writing of application letters, long queue of unemployment, but started to do something for yourself. When you start doing something, that means you even have a reference point when you want to go to the job market. You can tell the employer that I'll be able to do A, B, C, D by myself. I'm innovative, I'm independent-minded, I can work in a team and what have you. And all that our gentleman also from Cameroon said. It's a very interactive program. We want to hear from you. What contribution do you have to the team? What questions do you have? What are the problems that we are facing in our various countries? Why is it that we are training a lot of students? They are coming now, but they can't get jobs to do. We've been having TVET institutions long time, 70, 60 years ago, from our various technical institutes. Why can't them get a job? Why are they in their house jobless? What is the problem? What issues do you want us to learn? What is working in Nigeria? We want to hear from that experience so that we'll be able to go and apply it in Ghana or Nigeria. So now the floor is open. We want you to ask questions, and as you ask, I think my panel members can add more to it and know the areas to really tackle. So from the lead presenter to all that we have said here, if you have any contribution, any question, please, you can raise up your hand and we can continue the discussion. I think we have less than 30 minutes more to go. Good. But feel free and let's talk. That's why you're here.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm called Asumtani Jena from IPRC Tumba. I met with the person, and that's why I want you to share this question to help me to understand it well. He asked me, a person of 50 years old with 20 years of experience in his work or job, by earning his monthly salary well, and a person who finished his classes, he has only diploma, who is ready and able to create his own job. And I asked, what do you think about it? He answered me, is that person who has 30 years of experience. And I asked why. He answered, it's because he's the one who has capital. He earns his money, monthly salary, and well organized. And me too, I'm asking myself, and I'm asking you, who is able, and what should we do? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, another one. So your major question is money, capital, is that not it? If I get you right. Okay. Yes. Let's get about 4 questions, then we try to discuss it and interrogate the issue better. What is working in your country? What do you think is the problem? Why it's very difficult to transition smoothly? We are looking at smooth and easy transition from TVET institution to the workplace. After school, most of us here are not working. What to make it easier for us to get a job after whatever course we are doing? Please, I think the lady has a hand up. That's what we are really interrogating. That is very important to all of us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry. My name is Brenda from Kenya, and I think one key thing that I'm not exactly asking a question, but I'm giving a comment. As one thing that we are lacking in my country is there is that skills gap. Number one. There is no that link between education and industry. You find that our TVET programs are running, but there is no linkage to the industry. Earlier this year, we had a conference in my country that with the theme linking education to industry. You find that we had some representatives of government offices and administration, and we had the academia, but there was no industry. That is one thing. You find that the people who are training us in our TVETs and our technical universities are people who were trained on very different grounds. Yeah? We do not have the real people, the real investors, the real employers outside there giving input into the academia. That is why you will find that when students or graduates are released into the market, there is no really impact that they are getting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay. Let's take 4, then we answer. There's one at the back. There's a hand at the back. I hope, okay. It's up here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Richard Chinyumokiza. I'm from Rwanda. And I have something to say to that transition from schools to the working place. Many students, like here in Rwanda and any country, they have a big problem of making their studies as like getting the diploma only. They do the exams, and after the exams, they already forget what they have studied at their schools. But there is something I want to say, that they just have to focus on their career or what they have to study. they don't have to focus on the diploma only, but also skills, because those skills are those which are going to make them profitable at the marketplace. So, thank you.
Yeah, okay, the final one there, then we come to our distinguished panelists.
Bonjour, Latifa du Niger. Le Niger qui a le plus faible taux d'employabilité, comme on vient de le dire. Mais je crois qu'aussi je suis un exemple parfait parce que le Niger est aussi présent. Donc ça veut dire qu'il y a un travail qui est en train d'être fait sur ce point-là. D'ailleurs, le ministre nigérien même de la formation professionnelle est ici présent justement pour se référer en fait des pratiques des autres pays afin d'améliorer ça. Moi, ce que je veux dire en fait sur ce point, c'est que le domaine technique, c'est vraiment technique. Il faudrait qu'à un moment donné, qu'on arrête de confondre le domaine technique au marketing, par exemple. Le domaine technique, c'est un domaine qui demande beaucoup de pratique. Or, aujourd'hui, dans nos universités, façon on enseigne le marketing, c'est de la même manière qu'on enseigne les domaines techniques. Comment je veux dire? Qu'est-ce que je veux dire par là? Ce que les domaines techniques demandent assez de pratique. Il faut que dans nos universités, qu'on renverse la tendance, qu'on renverse la situation, qu'il y ait plus de pratique que de théorie. Pour qu'à la fin, en fait, que ces compétences, ces skills dont on est en train de parler, qu'on soit employable dans le marché de l'emploi. Parce que quelqu'un qui est, OK, je finis mon université, je pars dans le marché de l'emploi, qu'est-ce que je peux donner? Quelle est la valeur ajoutée que je peux apporter? Donc, il faut vraiment miser sur la pratique pour qu'en fait, qu'on soit assez compétent sur le marché de l'emploi.
Thank you. So back to my panelists. Maybe I can start from you if you have any comment.
Thank you, moderator. I think I will start from the comment, just the last comment from Fai. I don't know if everyone has understood what she says. She has reiterated the mismatch between what is taught and what is required. And she was advising that at universities and in technical, what is technical must be technical, and what is general has to be general. She gave an example that you should not teach the same way a technical person as you teach someone in marketing. That I really agree with her that the practical aspect of what we train, especially in TVET, has to be increased. And I think someone also has given a similar comment, Brenda from Kenya, who mentioned that in her country there is the skills gap, because when the government and the academia convey a workshop to discuss this issue, it's the government and the academia, the private sector is not there, the industry is not there. I think this is not only in Kenya, it is shared in many African countries. But there are some approaches which are being tried in some countries, like the competence-based approach. In the competence-based approach, at lower levels, the practical training must be at least 75% of the total time they study. That is the case in Rwanda, and 25 may be reserved to some support or some other theoretical courses. In the competence-based curriculum development, it is the industry which plays the big role. It is not the teachers who sit and write the curriculum. It is the industry which comes and write the competence standards. It does the situation analysis of what is done. But the mismatch of the skills sometimes also depend on the dynamic aspect of the market. There is no country in the world which knows exactly in 10 years what type of skills will be required. So that is the reason why the long life training, the on-job training, the continuous learning, training and learning should be of great importance, because what you have learned, I give an example. Someone who learned mechanical in 75, okay? The type of engines which were there in 75 are not the same types of engines which are here. This will allow me to jump to the question that everyone will discuss from Assumpta Nijena.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Briefly. So
yeah. That engineer from who has 40 years of experience, more than 40, who graduated in 75, and compared to a young graduate from the school. On my position, the young graduate from the school today has motivation. She has or he has motivation. But the one who has been serving for 40 years, employed for 40 years, even that experience or that capital, he starts thinking about what is the future. What is his future? Do you think, what is his future? You have to go to ask Mo Ibrahim. He has said it that it was here in this convention center. Thank you, moderator. I think my colleagues can
thank
add
you.
something.
Let's have other comments. You have a future. You have a big one.
Thank you. Thank you. Just I want to add something about what Assumpta was saying. I'm agreed for that young people who don't experience but have the degrees in technical schools. Because one of the challenges that we have, we young people, is that we can say some of that is capital management. The capital management, you were saying that he was told you that he have money to invest on their business and he's growing. But he have, for my opinion, is that he have money to invest on that young people, because that young people is who have the ideas to develop, is who have the strength, is who have the opportunity of everything on the market. So when you have money and you are old, that money is invest for young people.
Yeah.
So it is. I'm not agree for that one who say that the old man is. Who,
I think that's a good one.
Thank you.
Answered it. So the other two, briefly, we have only 4 minutes more to go. That's a good answer.
D'accord, merci. J'aimerais d'abord commencer par celle qui dit entre celui qui vient de l'école et la personne qui a de l'expérience, quelle est la bonne personne qui est apte à entreprendre? Moi, je dirais que tous les deux peuvent entreprendre. Tous les deux peuvent entreprendre, mais ce n'est pas sûr que tous les deux puissent réussir. Parce que n'entreprend pas qui veut, mais qui a la motivation, qui a la volonté et qui aime ce qu'il fait. Parce que entreprendre, on en parle, mais la réalité est tout autre. Au début, il y a souvent des échecs. Et quand on est motivé, l'échec ne peut pas être considéré négativement. L'échec est toujours positif, puisqu'il faut se baser sur ce qui n'a pas réussi pour construire ce qui va réussir. Il faut améliorer. Voilà, la personne qui a l'expérience, par exemple, peut-être qu'il a les moyens, il connaît, mais peut-être que sa motivation n'est pas la même que celui qui vient de l'école. Puisque l'autre, il a l'expérience du travail, il a quelque chose qui est assuré, alors qu'un jeune qui sort de l'école, il n'y a pas un plus grand guerrier que lui, parce qu'il veut construire sa vie. Voilà. Donc, il a peut-être plus de motivation, donc peut-être plus de chances pour réussir que celui qui exerçait déjà. J'aimerais aussi appuyer sur ma collègue du Niger qui dit qu'il faut miser sur la pratique dans les écoles de formation et surtout les formations techniques. C'est ce que je disais dans mon intervention. Il faut que le gouvernement arrive à avoir ce partenariat avec les entreprises. Parce que chaque entreprise qui est installée dans un pays a un devoir de redevabilité sociale. Et en vertu de ça, le gouvernement peut exiger de ces entreprises-là qu'en cours d'année, l'entreprise puisse peut-être donner un stage. Chaque entreprise donne un stage à 10 personnes. Moi, je pense que si les ministères de l'Éducation s'investissent là-dessus, ça ne peut même pas ne pas réussir. Et on aura des stages pour tous les étudiants qui en auront besoin. Merci.
Merci.
Okay.
Final one, just a minute to
For
30
me,
seconds to conclude.
Okay. For me, I think that the one who has the experience could also be the best person to create his own enterprise, because he can identify while being in the enterprise a limit that he wanted to improve, and he create his own company in order to resolve it. And another thing is that I think, like Jai was saying, a partnership between public and private sector the state can be imposed or obliged. Like the African Union wanted to oblige every state to give 1% of his taxes, I don't know, importations, in order to make the programs of AU being functioning concerning youth and any other. So the state can impose an enterprise that if you want to operate in my country, I have to see every year your report concerning the mentorship, or I don't know, the mentorship of at least 300 youth in order to make them going from the institutions from the school to the workplace. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much. I think we all agree the final last one, then I'll conclude. Do you have time for the last badge? Okay, quickly, very fast. Do you really have time? No. Okay, all right. Just very fast. Make your comment very brief. Very, very brief.
Okay, thank you. I'm Revokati Chimimana from IPRC Gishari. For us as Africa to develop any part of TVET school, we need to join TVETs in Africa, so that one student from South Africa can go to study in Rwanda, so they can have bursts or they can have scholarship in different countries without studying in one country and you stay there forever, so that to share the experiences.
Okay, so good collaboration, student exchange, so that you can go and work in any African countries.
Yeah.
That's good. The next person.
Thank you.
That's a good contribution. The next person, very snappy. I think that's a good one. So Rwanda, you can train for Ghanaian market. Is that not it? Good. The next person, so that we can conclude this.
Okay,
very
thank you so
important
much.
session.
I'm Obet Mutandwa from Harare Polytechnic, Zimbabwe. I had one of the moderator, I think he said the types of engines that we have are the ones that we used in 970s and all. I think yesterday during the first session, I posed the question, why are we using 19th century designs to solve 21st century problems. Because the other thing that happened during my industrial attachment, I'm doing civil engineering. I was working at the road. So I told one of the superintendents that what these guys are doing is wrong. Then he told me, I have 40 years experience. You can't tell me anything. Then the next day, they were told that for sure these things are wrong. Then they came back to me now and said, can you come and solve that problem? But the previous day I had been told, I have 40 years experience, so you can't tell me. So how best do we deal with that? How do we deal with that transition from using rudimental tools to get up-to-date machines? Thank you.
Then the last two, I think we are concentrating here so much. So one here, then two here. The search is becoming more interesting, but unfortunately we didn't start early.
Okay, I'm Masi Chebet from KTTC, and I have a comment. And like for example, at times we might get some of the.
They want to hear at the back very well.
Okay, I'm Masi, and at times we might get some job opportunities which are supposed to apply. You go to a certain company, but I'm surprised because you might be asked to, you should be having more than 8 years experience. So how can we do it as a TVET that, can we make the 1 year internship to be enough for us as youth so that we can get job earlier? Yeah.
Then two here.
Good afternoon. I'm Hirgwa Jean-Felix from Rwanda, IPRC Kigali. Another thing I want to add on what you have seen, it's about policy which implemented in Rwanda. For the youth who studied TVET, when you finish your studies and you want to go to implement what you have studied, they give you a loan and go to work and pay that loan slow by slow. I think if that policy implemented in other African countries, it can help.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
good. Thank you very much. Your final one. Yeah. Then
Okay, thank you for the opportunity.
workforce man, you quickly.
My name is Thomas Ngala from Kenya, and I have a comment about this issue of TVET from the institution to the working place. And the first thing is about, let us ask ourselves as young people here, who builds our roads? Who builds our roads in Africa? Chinese. Is it because we don't have engineers in Kenya or in Africa countries? The policymakers in Eastern Africa or in Africa are the ones who are making this thing to have a lot of problems. Let us trust our people first, especially those who have gone through TVET institutions. You have very good engineers in TVET institutions who can build our roads, who can construct all the mechanical, technical things in the African countries. But we trust people from China who brings their materials from China, everything from China, or even the casuals from China. So we have graduates who can't do anything. Please, let us change. And we should not be, let us be doers, not people who talks a lot. In Africa, we talk a lot, but we don't act on the things. It's time we implement on everything for our young graduates to get jobs in all the industries.
Thank you very much. That's a very good one. So final word from our panel members, just briefly 1 minute, and you'll try use the opportunity to answer some of the few questions, but all of them in 30 seconds or a minute each. Starting from you.
Thank you. I would like to say on that we are saying about opportunities of young people, and when you need to walk around, they ask you the experience. Why they ask you the experience? I mean that when we study in the TVET school, we need to create our own job, not to go and find a job where they're asking you the the experience. Thank you.
Point well made. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, the audience, for the great contribution to our session. I think everything has been said. There is a question from Richard Mchinyumukiza, who raised the issue of some students who just study for the diploma, for the paper, and when they finish, they are done. So it means that they may even do cheating, whatever, and so that they get the paper, and when they forget it. So, what you learn, I like the intervention from our friend from Botswana, who has corrected his elders. We have a proverb in our language, in Kinyarwanda, which says that the igi ryahannye inyoni. Yeah. So the egg has corrected the bird. So you can do it. Be courageous to do so. Good. And yeah, thank you.
Good. Ma'am. Good. Let's final comment, 30 seconds.
Ok. Je vous remercie pour votre assistance et je remercie mes collaborateurs. Et pour conclure, j'aimerais dire qu'après l'école, il faut toujours essayer l'insertion dans les entreprises d'abord pour les stages et pour se faire une petite expérience de la pratique. Et après cela, il ne faut pas forcément vouloir se faire employer, comme je l'ai dit. Il faut toujours penser à s'employer soi-même. Moi, je pense que c'est la réussite de l'Afrique. C'est la voie de la réussite de l'Afrique. Il faut qu'on arrive à s'employer nous-mêmes. Et n'hésitons pas à aller chercher l'expérience ailleurs. Voilà. J'entends beaucoup de Chine. Là, les Chinois viennent apprendre chez nous et ils vont reproduire ce que nous faisons. Pourquoi nous n'allons pas apprendre chez les autres et revenir faire ce qui est mieux chez nous? Il faut qu'on apprenne à être indépendant. Merci.
Okay, my last word will be, for me, while starting the TVET program or training, we have every year, from the first year to the last year, begin with internships. So at the last of the year, while going to vacancy, we have to start our internships. Why not before starting our TVET program, if you have clearly what we want to do, we start with internships in order to gain some experience. And my last comment will be a talk of Professor Sarah B. Eno and Yang Agbokos. For me, the first thing is us. We have to first work on us before waiting something from the other persons. And she said something. She is the Commissioner of Human Resources, Science and Technology of the African Union Commissions. She said something. If you think that you are too small to make an impact, it means that you have never slept with the mosquitoes. That means that youth, we have the power to change everything. We have just to start working on us, to acquire skills that we need in order to make the Africa that we want. Thank you.
Good. So briefly tell us what Our Lady has said, just in 50
Thank you,
15
moderator.
seconds.
Mrs. Ndiaye recalled that the youth should employ themselves. They should have confidence, and that we should use our energy, we use our people, and do not call for people who are coming to just reproduce what we can do ourselves. She reiterated that we have to be totally independent. That is the independence. Thank you.
Let's give our panel members a big round of applause. I think that, this is too small for them, for the good ideas, experience, and knowledge that they have shared with us. Anything again? I thought we are done. You have had your final word.
Please, if you can allow me to make a small animation.
Okay, 10 seconds.
that will be their own manner to thank us. Are you okay?
The
Is it
what?
okay? I want to make a small animation, if you allow me.
Let it start playing as I.
Eh?
Let it start playing. It's going to be video. Is that not it?
Uh-huh.
Is it? Are you going to show anything on the screen?
No. I want to invite them to do something, to thank us.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I want all the youth to stand up, please.
Yeah. Yes. Just for 2 seconds, let's all be on our
Okay.
feet. Let's learn something new to take to
What I will
accomplish.
do is to divide
That's innovation. New thing.
the room.
You have only 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it will not be sufficient. I want them to back with some small animation. Okay, I will divide it here. Okay. From this man, you are his side. Okay. And here, you are the second group and the last group. Okay. When I will say you have to say tomato. Isn't it? Tomato. There are men, please. Tomato, 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 tomato,
Keep saying
tomato.
it. Keep saying it.
Please.
Keep saying
Speak. Okay. You. Boss. 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 Please. Okay. You, it will be Samampala, 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 Samampala. Can you repeat, please? Samampala, Samampala. They are boys. Speak. Okay. When I will do this, you will say tomato. If I do this, you stop. If I do this, you say boss. And if I do this, you say Samampala. Let's all start. Oh,
Thank you very much. Let's give all of us a big round of applause. Thank you. So let's remember the 4 C's, very important, if you want to easily transit to the workforce. And that's what they are talking about. Your character, your attitude, your confidence, your mindset will take you there. Commitment to whatever you are doing. Make sure that you are competent. You've got all the technical skills and know-how, the connection, the mentors, and the resource persons that we identify in the various markets are very, very vital. We want to see all of you doing something after your graduation, but not seated at home with all the TVET knowledge and the skills that we have acquired. So thank you so much. Let the conversation, interaction, the topic continue. Let's all of us get seated as we move to the next phase. You want to take us a picture? Oh, okay. All right.